It's Saturday, so it's time for some book mail. We got 6 books in the mail this week. Pretty cool assortment of stuff. First up is The Closing Days by Isaach Kovach, a novel, and this is from Parallel Gray Press. When Alex is expelled from Stanford for plagiarism, he travels to Vienna to escape the disappointed glare of his parents and to forget about how thoroughly his last girlfriend dumped him. His trip begins promisingly when he meets Johanna, a captivating student with whom he immediately shares an intense connection. He takes a job working for her grandfather and grows close with them both. One afternoon over coffee, Johanna's grandfather asks Alex to spy on a man as a personal favor. Alex accepts. What he observes forces him to consider what Johanna's grandfather may have committed an unspeakable crime. Next is Pushing Back the Desert, Operation Ajax, inspired by true events by Gordon Zuckerman, and it's got some oil wells on the cover there, which is interesting because I just finished Yellowbird by Sierra Crane Murdoch, and this book is about oil as well. As British and American interests plot to control Iran's oil fields in 1953, a group of humanitarian visionaries and allies embark on a high-stakes underground operation. This work of historically accurate fiction is set in the late 1950s. Apparently, Gordon Zuckerman here went to Harvard Business School. It's an interesting piece of historical fiction. Sounds like right up my alley. This is Delivery Vehicles, a novel by Milton C. Johns. What happens when an alcoholic attorney uncovers an international terror plot? Sounds like a pretty interesting concept. Probably not my normal cup of tea, but Futuristic Escapades by Daniel Reicher. It's got kind of an interesting cover on it. And there's a content warning here. It's written for 18 plus, so some adult themes apparently. Leonid is a 2,249-year-old undying and unable to age individual living in the future New York City in the year of 4,225. So we got a ways to go before we get there. By Water Beneath the Walls, The Rise of the Navy SEALs by Benjamin H. Milligan, and it has a foreword by Jocko Willink, the author of Extreme Ownership, which I have read. Thought it was okay. And I actually spoke with Benjamin on Instagram, and he said that this is required reading for the Navy SEALs now, so that's pretty interesting. How did the U.S. Navy, the maritime branch of the U.S. military, manage to produce the SEALs, an elite unit of raiders trained to operate on land thousands of miles from water? Behind the SEALs' improbable rise lies the most remarkable underdog story in American military history. So regardless of your thoughts on military, I think it is interesting and important to read the history of these organizations. And I do have a friend that served as a PJ in the Air Force, which is somewhat similar to the Navy SEALs. And I know what these guys have to go through. It's pretty intense, and it's, for me, kind of like mountaineering. Like, I have zero interest in actually ever doing anything like that, but for whatever reason, I do find it quite fascinating to read about. And last is a pretty anticipated release from Penguin Random House, There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Shafak, and she is the author of The Island of Missing Trees and many other books. I believe she's Turkish, and I believe this is a work in translation, which is perfect for Women in Translation Month, which it is. This is the story of one lost poem, 2 great rivers, and 3 remarkable lives, all connected in a single drop of water. In the ruins of an ancient city of Mesopotamia, hidden in the sand, lie the fragments of a long-forgotten poem, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Yeah, this has praise on it from a lot of famous authors, Colin McCann, Viet Thanh Nguyen. I don't know if that one's for me, but we'll see. Which of these catches your eye? Let me know.